This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Welcome back, boys and girls, to another edition of Death, Glory, or Disappointment. Here is your delightfully eccentric host, Mr. Dan Meredith.
Hi. I was going to do my voice test. I did this on another podcast the other day. Someone has suggested they want me to do a podcast in the voice that I use. Just go, hello, Jonathan.
Oh boy.
So we're doing a podcast. But I can only do it for about 30 seconds and I just start laughing to myself. So I was going to do a different voice, and I realized as I was doing the voice, I forgot the voice I was going to do, and that turned up. So anyway, welcome.
Those eccentricities are showing up already. What is up, my man?
All is good, my friend. Yeah, I'm looking forward to today because, I've been doing some stuff trying to make me a better dad. Firstly, so this came off so I'll explain where this came from. So me and a friend of mine, we did a short coaching program at the start of the year, and it's called Grit. I've done a few of these now, and basically these little grit trainers, like 4-week, almost like accelerators, little group coaching where we have, a key theme and we work together, accountable every day to get it done. So the first one was more personal development. Second one was like systems and structure and growth. Business and personal, and the next one we had 4 areas. So this was kind of like we had health, wealth, productivity, and connectivity. I think I mentioned that in the last one. And one of the areas that wealth, doing good, obviously always pushing more. So that was kind of just carrying on as I was doing. Productivity, kind of what I'm known for, but yeah, that was going good. Health wasn't good. I'd committed to, I'd gone to Thailand obviously last year and, kick-started that with a really aggressive 3-week training camp, carried that on, boxing 4 or 5 times a week, training for lifting weights 4 or 5 times a week. By the time this will go out, I'll be running in the morning as well, getting some road work in because I've got a fight, all being well, sort of 6-7 months time, which I'm looking forward to doing. So yeah, I got that covered. But one area that was lacking for me was connectivity, and that was in both relationships, friendships, basically just connecting with your fellow man on a deeper level, and not obviously slightly deeper level. With the opposite sex is always very enjoyable, but I've realized I'd kind of done that thing where, especially when you go online, especially if you run your own business, that I had got to the point where I had a lovely team around me, but I kind of felt like I felt like I had thousands of people around me, but I was alone. Best way to describe it, which is a very strange feeling when, we do what we do, especially me with that's what I do on social media, and I've got, a robust, sort of very loyal and awesome following, the groups that I have. But, I've been starting to feel a little bit alone, like a bit isolated, especially moving to a new city, didn't know anyone here. And what I've realized is that I had been trapped by my own limiting beliefs. So I'd obliterated these in business, productivity. I'd done it before in health. I was doing it again, but I didn't think to apply the same methodologies to my personal life as I did to my business and other areas. So my limiting beliefs were stopping me from being as happy as I am now. So I basically applied exactly the same principles. I thought, okay, is this true? So the things that I was telling myself, is this real, or am I telling myself it's real? Obviously, it was the latter. So I decided to just stop. As in, I let them go, and as a result of that, I just said, I'm just basically going to stop that little voice in my head that was telling me, you're not going to meet anyone nice, you're not going to get any friends, you're not going to make any friends in the new area you are, you're always going to be on your own. This kind of stuff here, which is utter bullshit. It's like me saying to myself, fuck it. Like I used to, not being successful, never going to be fit. Obviously I've got a successful business now. I've been lean, I've been muscular, I've been strong, I've played sports at a decent level. But I had never applied the same kind of limiting belief obliteration sort of philosophy as I had to my personal life. And as a result, I've met some fantastic people, made some great new friends. Brilliantly, decided to join a gym, join this kind of like men's class. That sounds a bit fruity, but as in we just meet up 3-4 times a week, led by a very experienced coach, and we lift things. It's been great. 2 of those guys become really good friends of mine now. We're doing some business together. We're hanging out. And again, it was just because I was telling myself that I wasn't going to achieve the things I wanted to achieve. And as soon as I stopped telling myself that, and then, so it's A, change the record, and then B, start doing something about it. So being proactive and thinking, okay, how can I change this? My life's got better. I mean, genuinely, I'm a happy little bastard.
Why do you think that you didn't apply that limiting belief obliteration, that's hard to say, to your personal life? What was the hang up there?
This is the thing. For me, buddy, it was a case of I'm so used to working in the, let's just more say, business work, productivity world. That's how obviously we know each other. And obviously, listener, I'm sure you're in one of those worlds as well, that I hadn't ever taken time to speak to anyone about this. And not speak as, I've hired a coach, a mindset coach. I started talking to someone about this. I spoke to experts. And I've realized that exactly as I would tell someone who said, I'm never going to be successful, I'm never going to get a business off the ground, I'm never going to be popular online, any number of things they could say. And I said, if you keep telling yourself that, you're 100% right. But I needed someone to point it out to me and help me realize what an absolute bellend I was being.
That's crazy, right? How we can be in the world doing certain things. I mean, we're having success in one spot and we don't apply those same principles to another spot. It's so stupid that we do that shit. But yet we do it.
We do. And that was kind of, it all coincided with the release, my planner was released, and I base my planner is based on the kind of Kaizen philosophy, which Mr. Levesque, my very, very first sort of proper online coach, taught me about and gave me a book on. And that's basically the process of continual improvement. So what I did, so the philosophy I had in the book was, you pick there's a way of auditing yourself. You pick your 3 weakest areas via scoring, and you spend the next month working on them. And we're not talking about setting crazy goals. You just apply positive action daily that is going to get you closer to achieving your goals than not. So, for example, let's just say you scored low on health and you don't know. So you want to lose 7 pounds. Now, there are innumerable ways to do that. There's diets, there's all sorts of things, there's exercise plans, you've got training, you've got all sorts. But sometimes you just need it simply. So you just basically consistently take actions on a daily basis that's going to help you get to that 7 pound weight loss goal. So if you're going out for lunch, option 1 could be chicken salad, or some healthy, basically some protein and vegetables and non-sugary carbohydrates for lunch. Again, for those of you who are in the nutrition and wellness space, I come from that world, but please don't, this is not bashing for this and just for this. But if you had a choice of that versus a pizza, a bottle of wine, and a piece of chocolate cake, and your goal is to lose 7 pounds, which one is going to get you closer? Obviously, the first
wine?
one.
Oh, shit.
Dickhead. But it's the same thing in your business. If you had a choice of, okay, say you want to get an extra £1,000 a month, okay, and you have your own business and you do 30 minutes a day of prospecting. If you up that to 2 hours a day, is that or did nothing, or stayed as you are, which is going to get you closer? The 2 hours. So it's just thinking about things laterally. And when it comes to limiting beliefs, I've been applying the same things. Is what I'm telling myself true? pretty much every time it's not, it is perceived bullshit.
I think that Doberman Dan just spoke about something similar, and he was talking about some of his friends, 100 millionaire, 500 millionaire, 700 millionaire, billionaire type people, and they had the same problem. They would get into this weird funk of, oh, I don't want to do this, this is holding me back, and that's the thing that he also said they came up with, was that idea, is this real, or is this something that I'm making up? And most of the time, we're the ones applying the biggest limitations on ourselves.
Yeah, and this is the thing, mate. There's obviously a degree of being surrounded by people, and if there are people who are telling you, you're always going to be poor, you're always going to be fat, you're always going to be lonely, and you end up starting to believe these things, and it's tough. And so sometimes you have to actually break away from external influences that are telling you that. But we can talk about that another day.
Yeah,
but for this particular one, it is the whole show, isn't it? But for me personally, just applying that shit test is this true? Often, it's not. And that's what as soon as I stopped believing the stupid stories, my life started getting good. But the thing is, it's not only not believing the stories, it's taking action. So here's something I don't mind admitting. This is it. Remember I said in the last episode about being open and honest, okay? Yeah. So I have had my ups and downs. Never hid that. My highs and lows. I mean, Jonathan, you've been a good friend to me. Very, let's just say, patient co-host when I've been going through some periods of, let's just say, dynamic mental stability. How about that? That sounds a lot more
fancy,
professional than being a fucking head case. But this is the downside. So that is the downside of my upside. And the upside is I'm creative, I have lots of energy and drive, and I can help people achieve what they need to achieve. Downside is sometimes I have those periods of time where, I don't want to see anyone and just want to stay at home all day and don't feel too good about myself. That's who I am. And I've never hid that, and if that's something you think, who the fuck am I listening to this fruitcake again? Welcome to fuck off and unsubscribe. Like, you're totally entitled to your opinion, but I'm still going to be who I am. So the fact is, I actually started at the start of this year seeing a therapist. Now, old me would have called that a mindset coach. I'm just having a bit of coaching, whereas it is what it is. It's someone who's helping me to just work on the inner side of me. Old me would have thought that was weak, would have thought that was admitting defeat, that was an issue. I mean, you've seen The Sopranos, haven't you? Like Tony Soprano.
Yeah, that's right.
I had very much the same thing. Like, is this going to be recorded? If this fucking goes anywhere, I'll be pissed off, And then I thought, hold on a minute. Then I spoke to a friend of mine who is incredibly successful. A little bit younger than me, doing very, very well. He's got a little property empire, coaching business, very, very, very smart guy. And he'd been seeing someone in that vein for 7 years. And this is a guy who comes across as he's smart, he's got a wonderful partner, great businesses, he's one of my favorite people to be around. And I was like, but you never seem unhappy or down and stuff. And he said, yeah, because that is why I've been unloading all that shit on someone each week who helps me deal with the things I do. And I realized that my limiting beliefs, the connectivity side of things. So yeah, okay, I've realized, okay, that is bullshit. I'm just telling myself nonsense, but now I need to take action. So my head's not in a great place. Who do I speak? Head person. Done. And as a result, I've let go of so much baggage and bullshit. I'm genuinely the happiest I've ever been. But it's exactly the same when it comes to starting up a business or growing your business or anything sort of in our more entrepreneurial space that we talk about here. If it's not worth, like I said, admitting it and deciding whether what the story you're telling yourself is true or not is the first thing, but then taking action off the back of that is next. So let's just say your business is failing. Admitting it, first of all. Does that mean you're a failure? No, but maybe something's going wrong. Maybe your product's wrong. Maybe your copy's wrong. Maybe your message is wrong. Maybe it's too expensive or too cheap. Who knows? That's what it's okay. So let's just say you don't know what's wrong. Would maybe hiring a coach be advantageous? Maybe doing a course. Could that work? So admitting it and diagnosing it's the first step, and then actually taking action to fix it is the next. And that's the simplest way. Limiting beliefs. Is it true? Yes/no. If the answer is yes, then you start with it. If the answer, which it pretty much is every time, is no, then you need to find people, systems, courses, coaching, or take action that is going to fix it. And that is all I've done. Dirty, simple, typical Dan, dumbass, lowest common denominator level way of doing things, but it worked. And here we are.
Man, that's such good advice. All right, so we're wrapping up another episode. And look, I'm not even going to bother you with it this time, Dan. We'll just do what we do when we come back. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be back with you next time.
Bye, guys.
You've been listening to Death, Glory, or Disappointment with Dan Meredith. If you enjoyed the show and you want more, then your next step is to go to iTunes right now and subscribe. And while you're there, give us a rating and review. It'll help us out a bunch, plus it'll bring you good karma.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.